asked where you guys start, what led you into dubstep?
Well, we started producing like hip hop about 5 years back in Toronto. Came up on that kind of stuff.
I think we were like 6 or 7.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
We were like into like, you know, digging like records.
Yeah, digging in the crates, yeah.
You know, started with like looking through our parents' records collection, stuff like that. And
did that influence you like into that sort of mainstream, like, well, not mainstream, but into that sort of genre, like hip hop itself?
Well, like we pretty much, I think, we make a lot of like what we like at the time, you know. And back then, pretty much only listened to hip hop and like old music, but we would just make that into hip hop. So
hence why Saturn in tracks like that as well. That's
yeah, so we take that mentality to like dubstep and shit now. So, but yeah, like. I don't know, when we started listening to more electronic music, our production sort of went there. And yeah, just a lot of variety.
So what came first, the production or the DJing for you guys?
Production for sure.
Yeah? So let's talk a bit about the equipment that you were using back then, and you know, it might have changed now, but what was your main piece of equipment that you used back then you think yourself, while was going to keep going?
We used like, you know, like MIDI keyboards and like software.
What sort of software would you
We don't really use hardware.
A lot of people do use like Massive. That seems to be like a really big key.
Yeah,
for sure.
Massive is pretty key. It's good. There's
FM8
a lot of
good. FM7. A lot of people use that as well. So you guys use
FM's definitely you get a lot of cool noises out of that. Nowadays, like back then, we weren't really about the making like interesting sounds, but now that's pretty much all we're trying to accomplish. Like just making
unique sounds.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I think that's what it's all about these days. It's like so much stuff has been done, you know. You do it with like a different sound now. It's like you make something good again.
And even though dubstep's still a very new genre, it seems to be branched out every different way really. There's always something, you know, commercial, something underground, something mid-level. There's always something that somebody can listen to, whether it's dubstep or not. You know, they can listen to it and think, yeah, I really like that. So let's talk a bit about like the actual influences behind your rhythms. As I've like said before, I've been listening to quite a few of your songs, and they seem to be very eclectic. It's not really like a benchmark for you or a pigeonhole, let's say. Yeah. You can say that Sened is definitely that way. So
very eclectic. So many influences, you know. Like,
yeah, I mean, when we started making electronic music, the first tracks I made were more like electro, house kind of stuff like that, and then we got into dubstep. But it all comes from like the hip hop and the old soul and like what we used to listen to back then, I guess, right?
Yeah. Like I don't know. I think drum and bass. I got into that first.
Right.
And that
actually drum and bass.
That had like a big influence on our stuff, like, and yeah, electro too. It's just like everything nowadays is just like mashing different genres together, I think, and probably gonna happen to dubstep too. Just get fused with some other genre and make a new one, and
well, it seems to be a lot more quick because you guys must know yourself when dubstep first came out. Very few people have been talking about it, never mind heard it, and now it seems to be, you know, you can see it on adverts these days. You see it everywhere. It seems to be a lot more commercialised now than what it was like 5 years ago.
Pretty much happens to everything that's cool.
True,
like,
yeah.
It just becomes, you know, get marketed and turned into pop culture. Yeah.
So let's bring it a bit forward now and start talking about your own productions. What was the first dubstep track that you heard and you thought to yourself, I can do something like that? Or was you actually what's your main influence? I thought, yeah.
I mean, I didn't really get into it until very recently. Like the first track I probably heard was like a Scream track or maybe even a Rusco track. And
I think there was I can't even think of what the first one was that really like inspired me to do dubstep. Because I heard it like first a while ago. Somebody showed it to me. I think it might have even been like a Stenchman track.
Right.
And like, I was like, that's interesting. But like, I didn't really think anything of like it as a genre for a while until I don't even know who it was. It might have even been like an Evil Intent track or something that I was really liking. I don't know.
So once you heard that sound and you realised that you could be very much part of that scene, is it something like it's big in Canada as well, which it must ask you guys?
Yeah, it's just starting to blow up a lot, especially where we're from, Toronto. Like it's really just starting to blow up. We do like a bi-weekly party there that's like kind of pushing it in that direction. We're I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's called Bass Mentality.
Right, okay.
And yeah, it's just been doing really well. Like we started off and it's like not that many people came out. We didn't really promote it, but now we're getting like, we moved to like a bigger venue. We got like lineups around the block. It's like packed every time
On a Wednesday
we do
too.
it. Yeah, on a Wednesday.
On the off night. Yeah, we got like 16-bit and Nero coming in next month.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know, Toronto.
It
I
seems,
feel like
it seems to be like in Canada and the US as well. Like they've really opened up to dubstep.
Yeah, definitely.
I've mentioned this before, but it's actually because it's like a more of a West Coast feel. You know, the sparsity of the beats. Like so much wobbly bass lines.
it's kind of like Dirty South in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's the same sort of speed, but I don't really know. I think it's just like the bass. Like I think it's just like sort of a visceral reaction. You know, it's so like loud in that spectrum. You know, so,
Yeah, you can also sort of find, you can usually find like if someone doesn't like one track in dubstep, you can usually find a track that they will like.
Yeah,
because it's so varied, you know, like you were saying. Yeah.
Before, yeah, but like, dubstep now it's very commercial. You got tunes there like LaRue, for the Count, things like tunes like that people will say, oh yeah, when I heard that tune, that brought me into another side.
Exactly.
unless it's female vocals, anything with female vocals, you're gonna get like good response. You want to make it underground? Just no vocals.
Oh fuck.
Right, so let's talk about White Signs, which is one of my favourite tracks by you guys. Big ups on that track. It actually blew me away. When I first heard it, I was kind of curious, I must admit, when I first heard it, but by the time it all kicked in, it really didn't make sense to me. And what made you remix that particular Moody Blues track?
I don't know, that's totally like a throwback to what we were doing before, I guess, with the whole like digging in the crates thing. I think it was actually a sample we might have tried to flip in the hip hop stuff before, like a long time ago, and then just came back to it, doing it dubstep. And yeah, I don't know, it wasn't necessarily something I thought like could work right off the bat, but we made it work. Like, I don't know.
Sort of like a giveaway, you know, we're like making these tracks sort of to get our name out there. So like when we come out with like an album, you know, people
I suppose it shows
listening.
you diversity as well. I mean, people do listen to other tracks as well, produced by you guys, and you hear something like that, especially like from the UK point of view as well. It's like, well, you've not really heard these guys before, but wow, I really do like that, and I like the way that they move from genre to genre, and you're really good at that genre as well. It's like a case of just bouncing and just trying to fit in. So was that a conscious thought, decision to bounce from one genre to another, or was it very much, oh, I really like this today, we'll do that today?
It's a bit of both, I guess. We really like all the stuff we do, you know. I mean, all the different genres we try to like dip into. Like, we just do what we like.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you know, if we're really like feeling like listening to something a lot, you know, it's probably gonna filter into our production, like in some way or another. You know? Yeah, like we're working on a lot of different types of shit right now.
Well, that's what I'm going to just about to say now. What are you guys up to nowadays? What's in the pipeline? What tunes can we expect from you guys?
Well, we've been dropping the remixes every once in a while, sort of just to build things up and gain hype. But we're really working on like an album of original stuff, and that's going to be like all over the place, not just dubstep or like electro house, like
Anything specific, really.
Bit like Noisia for
sort of, yeah. Like,
they're big
most
influence,
recent
as a matter of fact.
yeah, that through your music sounds true.
Yeah, really like what they do with their album. It's kind of like similar kind of idea, actually. Like we have a lot of unreleased stuff, and yeah, people will be hearing that soon.